there's a shortage of all kinds of things, a shortage of workers, a shortage of products on the store shelves, and so on. And we are being told a bunch of nonsense here that, particularly for an economist, is a little bizarre. And I'm used to this sort of thing. So let me begin. There's a basic law in economics called the law of supply and demand that I'm sure many of you have heard. If you assume that the demand for something is what it is, whatever it is, but you restrict the supply, you know what happens? The price goes up. Now think about this from the point of view whoever, supplies the product. If we want the price of toothpaste to go up, for example, we can restrict the supply. We, the producers, produce less toothpaste. It becomes scarce. We fund all kinds of PR people to tell us what the reasons for the scarcity are. I'm going to come to that in a minute. But the bottom line is, by restricting the supply, the demand, the people who want the toothpaste, will have to pay more for it because it'll be scarce. Meanwhile, we can fire some workers because we don't need them, since we don't need to produce as much toothpaste as we used to because we're restricting the supply. So we have saved on our costs, but the price of everything we sell goes up. That's a recipe for profit gains. Lower costs, higher price per unit sold. No great rocket science here. The only problem is if people understand what we're doing, because we, the producers, and they have a name, we call them capitalists. The capitalists restrict the supply, jack up the price and the profits. They don't want you to get angry at them because of what they're doing. And the solution to this problem that they've come up with is flood the airways with phony other reasons why there's a shortage. So here we go. These are the ones you're going to hear and the ones you've been hearing. COVID. Everybody knows we have COVID. So you see, COVID is somehow producing these shortages. I don't know, workers get sick. Well, if you actually look at how manufacturers have been going, they've been making those workers come to work sick or not. Half of the terrible sickness is because workers had to stay at work for one reason or another. But it's a nice story to tell. Here's another one. Overseas, people are behaving strangely and not doing what they're supposed to. Maybe because of COVID over there, or maybe because of bad policies over there. And now that we bring goods from a long distance more and more, well, things happening abroad, it's really not under our control. It's happening over there. Get the picture? You're scrambling people's understanding. They're not going to understand that this is a deliberate policy in many, many cases. It is true that in some cases it isn't deliberate, but let's be clear why. We used to produce most of what we consume in America, but we decided not to. Well, who decided? The capitalists. They could make more money by producing it in China or India or Brazil. And that's thousands of miles away. And it's true, it has to come then when you finish producing it there, bring it back here to sell. That's a long supply line, and all kinds of things can happen. And that's true, but let's never forget, why are we dependent on long supply lines? Because capitalists wanted to make more money, and they could do it there. And they don't want to keep inventories because that costs them money. So when there's a shortage, they can't turn to the storehouse because they don't want to spend the money to store things in a storehouse. So wherever you look, it's the capitalist system of profit first, everything else second, that explains the shortages. Don't be fooled by efforts of those who cause them to blame somebody else.